the Trojan War, a 10-year clash fueled by a beauty contest, divine grudges, and one of the smartest scams in history. This is the full tale of how a golden apple, a runaway queen, and a suspicious horse burned a city into legend. It all started not with soldiers, but with a wedding. Peleus, a mortal king, and Thetis, a sea goddess, were tying the knot. Every god and goddess got an invite, except Eris, goddess of discord. She crashed the party anyway, tossing in a golden apple engraved with, "For the fairest." Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite each claimed it, glaring daggers at one another. While Zeus, wise enough to know better than to pick sides in a beauty contest, handed the decision to Paris, a Trojan prince famous for his looks and not much else. Hera promised him political power. Athena promised him glory in war. Aphrodite, she offered him the love of the most beautiful mortal woman alive. Paris, thinking with his heart, and maybe other organs, chose Aphrodite. The woman Aphrodite promised was Helen of Sparta, daughter of Zeus and Leda. She was already married to King Menelaus. Aphrodite arranged their meeting. Paris swept her away to Troy, and the scandal ignited the wrath of every Greek king. You see, before Helen married Menelaus, all her suitors had sworn an oath to defend her marriage. That meant Menelaus could call in the ultimate favor, and he did. Soon, a coalition of Greek heroes assembled. Agamemnon, Menelaus' brother and commander-in-chief. Odysseus, the trickster king. Ajax, the mighty warrior, and the near-invincible Achilles. Getting to Troy wasn't simple. The Greek fleet stalled at Aulis because Artemis demanded a sacrifice for favorable winds. Agamemnon, in a decision that would haunt him, sacrificed his daughter Iphigenia. The winds changed, but so did the gods' favor. The Greeks sailed across the Aegean, ready for war. The war dragged on for a decade. Neither side could break the other. Troy's walls were legendary, and its defenders, especially Hector, Paris's brother, were fierce. Achilles dominated the battlefield until a dispute with Agamemnon made him withdraw from the fighting. This gave the Trojans the upper hand, until Hector killed Achilles' closest friend, Patroclus, who had been fighting in Achilles' armor. Enraged, Achilles returned, challenged Hector to a duel, and killed him. In a display of rage and disrespect, he dragged Hector's body around Troy's walls for days before finally returning it to King Priam. Achilles' reign of terror ended when Paris, guided by Apollo, shot an arrow into his only vulnerable spot, his heel. The Greeks mourned their greatest warrior, but the war pressed on. With brute force failing, Odysseus proposed a deception: build a giant wooden horse, hollow inside, to hide elite soldiers. The Greeks pretended to retreat, leaving the horse as a peace offering. Trojans debated its fate. The prophetess Cassandra warned it was a trap, but cursed, so no one believed her. The horse was dragged into the city. That night, Greek soldiers slipped out, opened Troy's gates, and the returning Greek army poured in. Troy was burned, its people killed or enslaved. Helen returned to Menelaus, though not all stories agree on whether he forgave her or not. Most Greek heroes met grim ends. Agamemnon was murdered by his wife. Odysseus wandered for 10 years before reaching home, and Ajax took his own life in disgrace. The Trojan War, whether wholly true or part legend, became the centerpiece of Homer's Iliad and Odyssey, shaping Western storytelling for millennia. The Trojan War wasn't just fought with swords, it was fought with pride, love, revenge, and wit. And in the end, the gods may have pulled the strings, but it's the mortals who paid the price. Fact Me Today, where ancient myths get messy and history hits harder than Achilles' spear. Subscribe for more.